What's up guys, Stark here. I am back for another Fate video, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the Valentine's Day 2024 pre-release campaign pickup summon. It's quite a bit of a mouthful there, but anyway, we have a new banner out. There's going to be 5 servants on this banner, and we're going to go ahead and talk about each of the servants a little bit and kind of give you guys an idea of whether or not you should be pulling on this banner or if it's something that you could be skipping for. Alright, so we're going to jump over here to the schedule first and foremost, and there's going to be, like I said, 5 different servants. Each of them are going to be on their own individual banner, and each of those are going to have their own time frame for their raid ups. So Bride Nero is going to be from the 28th until the 30th. Mysterious Heroine X Alter is going to be from the 29th to the 31st. Semiramis will be from the 30th until the 1st. Murasaki will be from the 31st until the 2nd, and Sei will round out the batch with her banner on the 1st until the 4th of February, and which I assume will roll us into the next Valentine's Day banner, whether it be the new one or repeat of last year's for Karen. So we'll see, but for now we have these 5 servants on the plate, and if you want to pull for either of them, those are the dates available to you. We'll also note here that we do have the limited time craft essences for each of the previous Valentine's Day years. So 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, and 22 will also be available. I believe they'll probably just be rated up on their for the banner for each individual servant for their year. I'm not sure about that though, but you do have the opportunity to go back and pull for all of these craft essences, which is really cool. Yeah, so it's confirmed right here. So Nero has 2018, Mysterious Heroine X Alter has 2019, Semiramis has 2020, Murasaki has 2021, and Sei has 2022. Yeah, pretty nice there. But let's go ahead and talk about these servants. I don't think there's anything else to talk about right here. Guaranteed summon, if you're going 329 times without getting the 5-star pickup, on the 330th time, you'll get 1 copy of that servant. Keep in mind, though, that this is for individual banners, so the servants being split up doesn't count for each other. So, personally, you shouldn't be pulling 330 times on any of these characters. That's for sure, though. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start talking about the servants. So first up is Bride Nero, the 2018 Valentine's Day servant. Going to be a 5-star saber. Well, they're all 5-star characters, but Nero is a saber, pretty good character in my opinion, probably one of the better of the batch, maybe the best one of the batch. That's kind of up for debate, but she's a really good servant, really good support servant who can also do some really good damage. So she'll be able to increase Noble Phantasm gain and gauge of an ally, also be able to increase the attack and critical star drop rate of an ally, as well as healing them and increasing their defense. So there's quite a bit that we got going on here with Bride Nero. Lots of different support skills going on there. And for the Noble Phantasm, be able to do a pretty good chunk of damage to a single enemy, and then on the overcharge, inflict burn, decrease their defense, and decrease their critical rate. So overall, just a really cool balanced support servant who can do some pretty good damage as well. Alright, next up we have Mysterious Heroine X Alter, the 2019 Valentine's Day servant. It's going to be a Berserker class character. So Mysterious Heroine X Alter has had a few upgrades over the course of the years to try and make them better, and we're going to talk about this character with all of their upgrades present. But overall, a pretty good character as well. It's a Berserker character, so she'll be able to do some good damage, of course. But pretty much all we got going on for Mysterious Heroine X there. So, but anyway, let's talk about the skills. So the first skill has a ton of stuff here. Be able to increase your own HP recovery amount, as well as recovering your own HP. You'll also be able to restore your own HP by 1,000 per turn for 3 turns. Increase own quick, arts, and buster card critical strength 1 time over the course of 3 turns. So there's a lot going on in there, but basically you're going to heal yourself and increase your critical strength. So that's pretty good. Be able to spread it out over the different command cards, though. It's very interesting when they do things like this. You get 1 like really good quick attack, 1 good arts attack, 1 good buster attack over the course of 3 turns. So if you're able to continuously generate stars and get that 1 hit there, probably save it for like your last attack. Be pretty good, do some pretty good damage there. If you spread it out with like other cards and just save her card for like last, it could do some really good damage. Or you could use all 3 of them at once and do like one quick 1 1 buster for some really good damage. Second skill will be able to increase quick card effectiveness and gain critical stars, so that will help with her first skill. And third skill will decrease the critical star gather rate of an ally by 100% for 1 turn. It's also going to increase the attack for all allies for 3 turns. This is pretty important because you're going to be able to decrease the gather rate of one ally to kind of make it more likely that you'll get the stars on her, to be able to do more damage overall. Because her star absorption is really low at 9, so it's going to be a little bit harder for her to get the stars, so that kind of actually works out pretty well. For the Noble Phantasm, you're going to do single target damage to one enemy. Also going to apply 50% special attack against good alignment enemies. This will be for 1 turn. And then on the overcharge, you're going to deal extra damage to Saber class servants. So if you're going up against a Saber, it's a pretty good option for you to take Mysterious Heroine X Alter to do some pretty good damage. Alright, next up we have Semiramis. Semiramis is going to be a assassin class character who's kind of okay, not really the best character, kind of in like the middle of the pack. Not terrible, but not really that great. I don't think we've ever actually used Semiramis though. Maybe in like an event or something, but for the most part I don't usually use her. But anyway, she'll be able to increase own Noble Phantasm gauge, decrease debuff resistance for all enemies for 1 turn, increase Noble Phantasm gain, apply trait change, so negate class disadvantages for 1 turn to class or cast enemies. So this is pretty cool because you'll be able to not take that extra damage when you're being attacked by casters, but it's only for the defense. So like when you attack, you're still going to be doing less damage, but you're not going to be taking more damage. So that's still pretty good though, because it's all about surviving. So third skill will inflict poison on all enemies and then decrease the buster card resistance for all enemies for 3 turns. This will require 8 critical stars though, which isn't too bad because she's an assassin, so she'll be able to generate a lot of stars. So getting 8 stars is really not that big of a deal. And it's a pretty good effect too. So you get the poison and the decrease on the buster card resistance, which really goes well for her Noble Phantasm, which it is a buster Noble Phantasm. So you're going to be getting that extra damage overall. Being able to deal damage to all enemies as well as increasing their defense for all allies by 20%. And you'll have an increased buff removal resistance by 100% for all allies for 1 turn. On the overcharge, it will increase your Noble Phantasm strength for 1 turn. So yeah, overall, pretty good character, an AoE Noble Phantasm dealer, but honestly, overall, just kind of okay at the end of the day. Alright, next up we have Murasaki. Murasaki is a caster class servant who is, again, gonna just be kind of like okay. Nothing too special, to be honest. More of like a defensive character, but can still do some pretty good damage with a pretty good Noble Phantasm as well. As for her skills, decreasing the defense for all enemies for 3 turns, applying special attack Demonic for all allies for 3 turns. So obviously if you're going up against demonic enemies, she's a pretty good character to bring in with you to get that little bit of a buff into the attack. Second skill will have a chance to inflict Noble Phantasm Seal to 1 enemy. You'll also be able to increase your Noble Phantasm gauge and your Noble Phantasm strength for 3 turns. Really good Noble Phantasm steroid right there. And her third skill will increase or apply damage cut to all allies 3 times for 3 turns. Apply debuff immunity for all allies 1 time over the course of 3 turns. And increase buff removal resistance for all allies by 100% 1 time for 3 turns. So a pretty good defensive buff there. And for the Noble Phantasm, deal damage to all enemies, inflict nullify buff to all enemies, and on the overcharge will deal additional special attack damage to demonic enemies. So once again, demonic enemies, really good character to bring in to do the extra damage for. Outside of that, not really the best. Usually in most situations there are better casters you can bring in to do the things that she does or that she wants to do, and you'll be able to do it better effectively. So she kind of gets like lost in the shuffle. And finally we have Sei, who is also going to be one of those characters that kind of stuck in the mix. Doesn't see a lot of play, but decent character at the end of the day. Archer character, so if you need an archer there, you can fill the void for that. She's an AoE attacker as well, so good option to have. Be able to increase the attack of all allies for 3 turns, as well as increasing the Noble Phantasm gauge for all allies by 10% each turn for 3 turns, as well as recovering HP for all allies each turn for 3 turns. Really good first skill, getting quite a bit out of it. Attack, Noble Phantasm gauge, healing, really good. Second skill will apply evasion to self 3 times for 3 turns, as well as increasing own critical strength 3 times for 3 turns. And finally, you're going to increase your own quick card effectiveness for 3 turns, increase your own Noble Phantasm gauge, and gain 10 critical stars. As far as Noble Phantasm goes, like I said, it's going to be an AoE Noble Phantasm. It will apply special attack for neutral servants for 1 turn, and then apply a special attack to shadow servants for 1 turn, and on the overcharge, apply special attack to human attributes for 1 turn. So obviously, if you're going up against any of those class of enemies, Say would be a really good option as well. But all in all, that is the 5 servants for the Valentine's pre-release banner. I wouldn't say you have to specifically go out of your way for any of them, but if you were going to go for one or all of them, I'd probably say Nero. Bride Nero is probably the one you want to go for the most. Yeah, I would say Bride Nero is probably the only one really worth going for in the batch, unless you specifically need like one of the characters for a specific role, like you know, say maybe you don't have a quick archer that does AoE damage or something. I don't know. But yeah, personally, Nero would be the choice to go for. Otherwise, just I would probably skip. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.